Welcome back, everybody, and thanks for watching. Unfortunately, a sad day has come. I've got to let my Beetle go. I've got some plans for the future, and this is in alignment with that. For the last couple years, I've actually put the car up for sale a couple times because I haven't touched it, but always took it back down because I thought that I had plans to put it back on the road and enjoy it, but it hasn't worked out that way. So for the past couple of years, it's been sitting in storage. I run it up periodically to make sure that it's still sound and everything on it still seems to work just fine. But I need to let it go just because I'm running out of space. Unfortunately, I'm tripping over things, I'm losing tools, and things are getting misplaced. And not because I'm stupid or forgetting where I'm putting things, but rather because there's so much clutter out and about, you just can't always see it. You know, things just get lost. So what I'm going to do with this money is I'm going to invest in buying a shop. And yes, I'm going to buy a shop, not a big shop, just big enough, enough for me to work on my projects in and get a lot of the stuff away from home. Some of you guys you guys are always commenting on it, am I disturbing my neighbors? Well, I'm actually not. But if I take things away and move it to another place where the code enforcement people won't be, peering their eyes into my operation, I think I'll probably be in a safer position. So in other words, get out before you get in trouble. Neighbors aren't the ones that are complaining, but code enforcement could certainly be in on top of that. But code enforcement certainly could put their nasty little thumb on me and try to squeeze some money out. That's what it's all about. It's all about getting the fines paid. Anyways, I want to buy a shop because then I'm free and in the clear, and if I get the shop, then I don't have a note, so it doesn't matter if the shop is profitable or not, because it's not going to be profitable. It's for me to work on my own little projects. If I work on somebody else's project, make a little money on the side, that's fine. But as I said, this shop is not for profit, and it's not going to be intended for profit. But as some people do say, if you do what you love, eventually the money will follow, and that might happen. But really what I want to do is I just want to have space to work on my own stuff where I can showcase it on my YouTube and continue to promote it. And if it doesn't work out, well, I just flip the shop, and I could sell a building and let it go again and probably make a profit on it, because real estate has a tendency to go up and down. Well, right now things are down, and I could probably get it for a reasonable price, and a couple of years from now, like I said, if it doesn't work, sell it, either break even or get my money back out of it. But one of the things that's got to go is the Beetle. It's a good car. It does remind me of my ex, which is one of the hardest things when it comes to keeping that car, because we had a whole adventure together as to bringing that car home and a whole bunch of other things. There's stories, it's got a history, and it reminds me of her, and I don't want those things in my life that remind me of her. And the Fastback is one of those things too, and that's going also. I'm not going to put that up for sale just yet, but because it's currently registered and insured, so I'm going to ride that out for as long as I can. So down at the bottom of this video, you'll find my social media links and how to get in contact with me. I might even go so far as posting my business phone number so you can ring me at the office. You can also text me at that number. Now please don't harass me at that number asking questions about the size of the tires on a Doodle Bastard or when the CR500 is going to get fixed. That's not what the phone number is there for. Phone number is for making a sale on this Volkswagen Beetle, and if you're interested in my Beetle, please give me a ring. Check out the rest of this video. We're going to go ahead and have a walk around the car. I'm going to run it, and I'm going to showcase its operation. And like I said, if you like the vehicle, you know where to reach me. So thanks so much. Give me a thumbs up if you like the video. Click subscribe. Ring a little dingleberry in the corner of the video if you want future updates every time I upload a video. Thanks so much, guys. Keep watching. So I've been going through a lot of things here in my life, and I decided to make some changes, and one of which is I'm going to sell my Beetle, you guys. I'm out of space, and something just needs to go. I don't have enough room to work, and I need to gather some money together. I'm trying to buy a shop, not just rent, but buy a shop. I want to be free and clear and just have everything dealt with, and not have a note on it that I have to pay every month. So unfortunately, the Beetle's got to go. If you're interested in getting in contact with me about my Beetle, down below in the bottom of this video in the details, you'll find a bunch of social media links, and there's a few different ways to get a hold of me. So let me know what you think. Onwards and upwards. My Beetle is a 1973 Beetle. It's a custom. It was built to look like an earlier Beetle. Most of the parts that you'll find on it or see on it is more resembling that of a 68, with the exception of the wheels and rims. These are, I don't think they're genuine MP rims, but these are MP looking rims, 5-lug, 5x205, which means it's early Beetle stuff. 67 and earlier came with those. I've got narrow tires on the front here because the front has been lowered, and this is the maximum drop that you could put on it
without actually having to narrow that beam. I like wider track. It gives you better handling. But we put the skinnier tires on there, which which is kind of backwards from, you know, the handling thing that I just mentioned. But the skinny tires is a way to get to clear the fenders, and when you run over bumps and stuff, it doesn't rub on the inside of the fenders. So that's just fine. If you go any lower, you're going to have some problems, but the way I've got it right now is just fine. In the back, it's also been lowered. Different style, of course, of lowering. This actually has the spring plates in the back, and you just turn the torsion bars and put them back in. So I lowered the rear, the equivalent that the front has been dropped. Same kind of wheels on the back. No, I don't have any caps for them, because I never found any caps that I liked for the center cap, so I never bothered to put any in there. But these are brand new tires that are on here, and if you look closely, you can still see the tire hairs that are on there. Honestly, I've never driven this car on the road except up and down the street a few times. It's just, I never got that far with it. You can tell I put some earlier taillights on there. The thing that gives it away that it is a 73 is that deck lid with the additional vents that are in there. There's 4 sets of vents. The engine, of course, is in the back. It's dirty and it's scruffy, but that's natural from being a air-cooled engine, because what does it do? It pulls in air through the vents, and it also means it pulls in dust. And where does the dust settle? Then it settles on your engine. The engine runs fine. I'll start it up for you in a minute after we finish getting a walk around here. Passenger side is over here also. Down below, you can see some of the paint is chipping, and this is the reason why I'm letting it go. It sits in the shop. I constantly try to avoid this thing, trying to put stuff in the shop, and it's gotten banged up. I haven't driven it. I'm probably not going to drive it. I have too many other things that's coming in. I also have a split window bus that's coming home, and I need to clear out the space where this is currently living. Unfortunately, there's just not enough room for it. So it's got to go, and I mean, it's something that I love. I built this car for me. Really, honestly, I did. The hood needs a rubber seal, but to whomever gets the car, I'll give you the rubber seal with it, or maybe I'll have it on there before you get to see it yourself. It also is missing the hood latch. I never bothered to put it back in, but I do have that also, so whoever buys it will also get that installed. Bumpers have been shaved, as has all the chrome trim. All the chrome off the windows has also been all shaved off. Yes, I do have the wipers. The wipers are sitting in the passenger seat right now. I don't bother to put those on because I don't drive these cars in the rain. I like the look without the windshield wipers better. It gives it more of a streamlined appearance. In fact, on the oval, I even shaved those off. So that's something I'm not really too fond of. Running boards are brand new, as are the wheels and tires that I mentioned to you. They do look blue, and that's because they shipped with a little plastic that protects the chrome. And I like the blue look against the white and black so much. It's just a little accent that's on there. So I just left it. I didn't see any reason I would want to take that off. One-piece windows, of course, in the front. Yes, they do work. And yes, I put a lot of time into making sure that they crank up and down properly, especially on the driver's side. I wanted that window to work properly. And this is usually a two-handed operation, where it requires 2 hands to get that window to close properly, but this one actually does it with just 1 hand. As I said, I put a lot of time into making sure that worked properly. There's the interior. Seats are like new. They're not actually new, but like new. The door panels are, they were new, actually. These were new. Unfortunately, I've kicked that door pocket a few times and actually put my foot in it once, so I stretched it out a little bit. Carpets are brand new. Headliner is brand new. And that is a very rare and hard to find velour headliner that they made back in the early 90s. I wish I can get focused on it. Yeah, you can't really see it too well. That's more of a limitation of the camera than anything else. But anyway, it's fuzzy. It's not quite a velvet, but it's a little fuzzy. And of course, it's got the matching sun visors, which are also velour. That was a brand new mirror that I put in there. It's already starting to show some age around the edges of it. That's unbelievable. Dashboard had a crash pad. All the holes on it have been filled, and they've been painted and meticulously cared for. All the little knobs are little Bud Light caps. I just wanted something a little different, so I put Bud Light caps in there. It does start, run, drive. It's got brand new brakes the whole way around. Here's the back seat. Yes, it's got seat belts. There they are. Leave them down on the back because I think they're kind of ugly. I don't know if I showed, well, there was something example. The doors open and close properly. Underneath that hood, everything has been meticulously painted. Other than being a little dusty in here because this is not a place that I regularly wash, it's in good shape. Passenger door also opens and closes normally. No unusual rust at the bottom of the pillars, which is usually where these things break, and then these doors fall down and hit the ground. This one doesn't have any such problems. They just open and close like they're supposed to. In fact, you can feel the resistance of the air inside of there. You feel all the air squeeze out from around the gaps when I close that door. Doors close a lot easier with the window down, and that was typical of Volkswagens back in the day, as they were known for being so airtight that if you actually had the windows rolled up when you're in it and you close the door, you'll hear your ears pop. It was pretty rough on your ears. Yeah, look at that. Door handle trim looks like it's coming apart. Typical aftermarket stuff. This stuff is hard to find good quality nowadays and it tends to split. I built this car about 2 years ago, and it's been sitting for about the last 2 years. Unfortunately, I don't have hardly any time to start it up or do anything with it. So generally it just sits. It does still fire up on the first try. I moved it out here to the front yard by starting it up, and the trick was getting that battery charged because it was 7 months roughly since the last time I started it. I smelled the gas and it didn't even stink, which is good. But there was almost nothing in it anyway. But once I poured some fresh gas in it, it fired right up. And fresh gas on top of that, it flushed it through the lines. The carburetor didn't even need to be cleaned. It seems to be just fine. It starts up, runs, drives. Everything does work on this car. Pull the headlights here so you can see. Yeah, it looks like they're a little dim. That battery might need a little more work than I thought. No, I didn't pull it on all the way. Well, anyway, I'll have to pull that switch a little harder. They're not coming on. That's a new problem. The taillights come on? Yeah, taillights came on just fine. Even the license plate light is on there just fine. I don't know why the headlights didn't come on. Oh, you know what? Hang on, headlights don't work until the ignition's on. There they are. Now they're working properly. A little dim on that side. In fact, the marker light's just a little bit dimmer too. I think they're attached to the same ground. It's typical on Volkswagens, they get bad grounds. So I'm going to pull that wire off. I'll find that here and I'll sand it down a little bit and put the connector back on it. That usually covers the problem. And that's good. Forgot you got to turn that ignition on and get the headlights to come on. Alright, see. Yeah, no high beams. That's not supposed to be a horn. Yeah, there's definitely something weird going on in there. Something going on with my turn signals too. I don't know what that's all about. It got brighter on that side, so it's on, but it's not flashing. Okay. Something else to sort out, so whoever's interested in this car, once again, I will fix that too before you get it. I don't want you to have a car that doesn't completely work. It also does have heat. The heat lever is down there by the e-brake. The e-brake works too. As I said, there's brand new brakes all the way around this thing. This thing was retrofitted with 5-lug drums from an earlier Beetle. And when I installed the brand new drums, I also installed brand new shoes, brand new slave cylinders, and a brand new master cylinder all at the same time. So everything's ready to go on this car. I mean, if it's not brand new, it's a good new old stock part. There is no rust in these floors whatsoever. These floor pans I did myself. These were a repaired set of floor pans. These had some very, very good sections in it, and then there was some bad spots. So rather than cut out the entire floor pan, I patched it up. But in hindsight, it was probably easier just to cut the whole damn thing out, weld the whole thing in, because I made myself more work in the process. But there's no rust on it whatsoever. I've got some pictures of the underside of the car. I'll demonstrate those. What it comes down to is, well, asking price. 2 years ago I had it listed for $7,500. I kept putting the thing up and taking it back down, putting it up, taking it back down. And the reason why I kept taking the ad back down is because I wanted to drive this car for myself. I mean, I thought I was really committed to this, that I was going to put this thing on the road. And so much came up along the way. Almost exactly 2 years ago, the Oval came home. And that's really changed my outlook on things. And that was that one extra car that made me lose that space that I had, that I don't have anymore. And this car, I wanted to sell it. But every time that I think I'm going to sell it, you know, I want to put it back on the road again. And every time I change my mind, I think about my ex. And my ex was in the picture when I got this car. So every time I look at it, it does remind me of her. You know, so that's another reason why I want to get rid of it. It's a great car, really. There isn't really hardly a spot of rust on it. I mean, you might find a freckle here and there. There's a couple spots like in here. Looks like there's a couple dots here. There's some tree sap. That's what these dots are on the roof here, aside from the tree dropping other crap on it. This is tree sap because my yard has all these wonderful pine trees. And those pine trees will drop sap. And I started to soak these things with a little bit of mayonnaise, and actually they're a lot smaller than they used to be. But this car needs a good cleaning. I gave it a quick hose off just to get some of the loose dirt and dust off of it, but it needs a much better wash than what it's had. I guess the next thing is that you guys want to see is you want to see it run. It fires up nicely. It's not noisy, and it runs and drives just fine. You know, there was nothing ever that I experienced as a problem with this engine. In fact, it hardly even leaks a drop of oil. When I put it in there, the bottom of the engine case was actually spotless. And I got the engine as part of a trade-in for a bunch of other stuff. So it was a freshly rebuilt engine that came from somebody else. I didn't build that engine myself. The paint. The paint does need some help. You can tell it's shiny, but it's just not absolutely spotless. It's just, like I said, having sat in the shop in the work area for so long, I had a cover on it, and the problem with the cover is, yeah, it'll help to keep a lot of dirt and dust off it. Some manages to get under it, I don't know how. But when you turn around and you, let's say, rest your handful of tools or something on top of it, that cover will rub back and forth on the paint, and it leaves some dull scratches or blemishes on it. And the car isn't exactly as perfect as it used to be. There are some spots where the paint's chipping off a little bit. You have some scratches down here on the fender. In fact, the front fender had one. I might have even just done that today. I don't remember that being there. As I brought it down here in the backyard, I might have done that. Looking around, see if there's any more blemishes. Yep, there's one here on the fender. I remember when I did that, I backed into something in the yard. Tree sap spots, once again, this is just tree sap. Tree sap. There's a little crack in the paint over here. That could use some sanding, I suppose, and just fill it back in with some fresh paint. The good news about this paint, it's a polar white. It's a polar white enamel paint. Pretty much any brand polar white enamel paint will fix this thing just fine, and I've touched up a lot of it. And you can't even see the spots where the touch-up is. But yeah, this is it. This is my 73 Beetle, which masquerades as let's say a 68. And because of the 5-lug wheels, I guess you could say it's a 67, 68, you know. Kind of that rare cusp where Volkswagen did sometimes mix and match parts from whatever they had in the bins in between years. I don't believe there ever was a combination quite like this, but you could tell people that. So there it is. We're going to fire it up for you, because I know you're just dying to see it run. I know I am. And then I'm going to go park it back in the yard, and hopefully you guys will give me some calls or contact me and let me know if you guys want to buy it. Like I said, this thing really needs to come out of the shop. I was asking, as I said, $7,500 for it about 2 years ago, but currently I have it listed for $6,500, and I'll even come off of that some, especially for you YouTuber guys. I'll step off of that a lot, a whole lot. So if somebody from YouTube, like I said, is interested in this Beetle, we're right here in Pensacola, Florida. Down below in the bottom of the video is my social media links and other ways to get in contact with me for this car. So if you want to buy this, or even if you're interested in trading it for something really, really good, it's got to be really good though. You don't want junk. This is not a junk car. This car I put together myself. You've watched me do it on my channel, so you know it's not garbage. Please reach out to me, and let's see if we can make this thing move and go to a good home. Because the only thing that it really needs is, as I mentioned, a couple little electrical problems. And let's go ahead and get this thing started up. It's a little cold, so like any old Volkswagen engine, it's going to run a little choppy while it's cold, but as soon as it warms up, it should be just fine. Oh, I wonder what that's all about. Let's go ahead and fire it back up. I don't see the choke activated on there. It's kind of warm out, actually. It's still probably about 90 degrees out here. It's getting kind of late in the day. None of the idiot lights are on the dashboard. Gauges work. It's got about a quarter tank of gas in it, well, a little more than a quarter tank. The dimmer does work on it, so you can bring that light up or down. You're showing the turn signal indicator right there, which isn't flashing for some reason. I can hear a little pinking sound underneath the dashboard, which is probably it. But I'll have to look at that. It's probably in this switch. The reason why the horn is kicking in the high beams and the reason why the turn signals don't work, it's probably all right in here. I'll get that sorted out. That's not too big of a deal. Whoever's going to buy this, they'll get it fixed from me. I'm not going to let it go unless it's perfect. I mean, like I said, this car was supposed to be mine. There we go, running just fine. Just needed to be warmed, it's fine. It's dark out here fast, and it's still hot as hell. There we go. I think I'm going to have to replace the battery on here. It's not holding the charge too well, but I'll do that again. Whoever's going to get it, you're going to get a fresh battery in it. This car is going to run and drive just fine when you get it. I'm not going to let it go as a piece of junk. I don't sell junk. I couldn't possibly let this thing go as a piece of junk. I mean, this car was, like I said, it was meant to be mine. And I mean, I keep saying that repeatedly, but this is a hard one to let go. It really is. Something I really, really wanted to drive, really wanted to rock out. Still a little dim on that headlight over there. Yeah. Might even just be the bulb, because that marker light doesn't look as dim anymore. Anyway, yep, runs and drives. As always, you guys, if you like my video, thumbs up. click that little subscribe button that you see down here in the corner, ring that little dingleberry. And if you're interested in this vehicle, please look in the bottom of this video. You'll see my social media links and ways to get in touch with me. I might even go so far as posting my business phone number. So if you want to call me in my office, give me a ring over there. You can also text me at that number. Text will be just fine. Once you got a hold of me, let's see if we can arrange to get this vehicle sold and see if I go to a happy new owner and a place where somebody can actually enjoy it. Unfortunately, the car is just, it's not being enjoyed where it's at. So thanks so much for watching, you guys. Take care.